For tonight, July 13th, 2022, we will start by reciting the pledge to the flag. Our famous attorney, Mr. Daly.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'll ask our clerk to call the roll, please.
Council Whitehead. Council Northman.
Here, thank you. We'll start with public participation. We'll open the floor up to members of the public who wish to address the board. As always, we would ask you to state your name and address at the beginning, and then keep your comments to 3 minutes or less of the duration. Sir.
Thank you, sir. Stanley Iskowitz, 28 Fairway Oval, New Hampstead. I was blindsided. There were so many meetings in the spring in New Hampstead for the rezoning, and I knew nothing about it. And to add insult to injury, they sent me a regular mail, not registered, that they were having a meeting, and it was dated May 31st. So I've lived in my house bordering Fairway Oval for 51 years, and obviously their attempt at getting people involved was negligent. And what in New Hampstead is following your lead, sir, as far as this rezoning. Litigation is on right now, as a matter of fact, against the New Hampstead Board for zoning. But I want to get to the agreement. I have a copy of it here, which I'm willing to give to you folks. It says nothing about surplus land, but what it does say very clearly, sir, is that the land is for municipal purposes, and they say two things about that. They say emphatically that it's for municipal purposes, full strength ahead. In other words, this was October 1st, 1968. McAlevey was the supervisor. Full speed ahead. And then, in the second paragraph, they say, just in case anybody misunderstood, we don't want them to do that, so we're going to make sure you don't misunderstand. You can't build any private building on Fairway Park because it's municipal purposes only. And that's there. There's not a word about surplus lands, and that means that here's the things you could build on Fairway Park. You can build a public library. You can build a firehouse, a village hall, a water treatment center, a public school, an ambulance corps, a municipal firehouse. You can build a library. You can build a school, but you can't sell the land. And so we're asking you, sir, respectfully, to rescind your Town of Ramapo Board declaration for declaring Fairway Park surplus land. Now, the land and the maps from Rockland and the maps from, I didn't notice that. She told me I was on the, I didn't know I had 4 seconds. That's not fair.
We said 3 minutes at the beginning, sir.
What, sir?
We said 3 minutes. I said 3 minutes to
I didn't hear.
And
Okay,
the clock is there.
Here's the
I'll give you
thing.
10 more seconds.
here's the thing. I appreciate it. The maps of Rockland and Ramapo for 54 years have shown that it's wild. This is what it says on the maps. Wild forest conservation land. And there's no way that is surplus land. So we're asking you again to rescind the Town of Ramapo declaration that it is surplus land. It's municipal purpose land, and they wanted to make sure you knew it, so they said it twice. They said it twice in the agreement. Now, I respect it. Hand this over to you. And I hope that somebody
Sorry, are you finished, please? Yes. Thank you.
looks at it May I?
Thank you. Yes, yeah, sure, certainly.
Thank you.
Somebody go to
Give it to the clerk.
Thank you.
It's not superfluous, it's the bottom line on Fairway Park.
We got it.
Thank you, sir. Is there anybody else who wishes to speak at this time? Yes, sir.
October last time, I live in 18 Fairway, the days of 76. I'm also asking the town of Ramapo to rescind the declaration of surplus land. My wife and I have it in our deed that that is not surplus land. And therefore, we're gonna have a course of action against the town if you don't do that. And we'll get an injunction. So, it's not a threat, reality. You want to declare surplus land, you want to sell it for a yeshiva, get ahead. I don't. But I tell you this, we will be serving it. And believe me when I say, not a threat, it's actuality and reality. We will be there. We'll see you in court. And if it takes me 20 years and $100,000, I'll spend it. That I want you to understand. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Who else wishes to speak this time? Yes, back, please.
Hi, my name is Esther Inger. I live at 12 Cherry Lane. It's very short and sweet. Did undo everything that the gentleman said. And I have the article for Thursday, June 23rd, which quotes you, supervisor and mayor, from villages. We lived there for almost 36 years, and I'm original owners. My whole thing here is when we had our closing 36 years ago, my beloved late attorney, Jimmy Leopold, he was overwhelmed. He said, I can't believe where you're moving. You have the most beautiful piece of land behind you. And I'm quoting him. He's not here. He said, you have a park behind you that can never be built on. You're gonna have deer and, all kinds of wildlife, which we do, which I care about as well. And then a month ago, I get this letter in the mail that they want to put a park in my backyard. I grew up in a housing project in High Bridge. I had cement, I had no trees, I had nothing. I had concrete buildings. I have a park in my backyard. I've had one in 2007, we roamed up here. There's no need for a park. We all have half-acre land. Nobody needs a park. We have swings, we have slides, we have walking. We have a path now that people are walking and riding their bikes through illegally, but that's a whole other story. That land should not be sold, should not be touched, because it's an illegal act, and we're not going to rest. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else who wishes to speak at this time? Yes, sir.
Hi, Honorable Mr. Speck, how are you? Members of the town board.
Your name and.
My name is Leonard Bessler, 11 Barnacle Drive, Spring Valley. I come before you today to speak about the sale of the Fairway Parkland to the Yeshiva School of the Village of Hempstead and the Village Hall. Basically, I don't have a problem with the yeshiva school. I think we need yeshiva schools, and it's important to give Fairway Parkland, to do this kind of thing. I just asked the town board, I appeal to you to rescind your resolution to sell the Fairway Parkland, because the residents really haven't had a chance to examine the impact on the traffic, on the water, a lot of different things in the area. And I think there's I think what's happening here is that it's just being done too quickly, kind of secretively. People aren't aware of all the implications and sales that are planned. I disagree with Mr. Yeager, I don't know if he's here, but I disagree with him that the land is not parkland, it is parkland. I just ask you to, no rush. We can always build the issue. Let's, I'm all for building the issue. Let's just take it slow, look at the impact, let the residents have a chance to see what's going on and to see what the impact will be. And then we can all see what it is, and let's build a school in a park and a village hall. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, sir. Does anybody else wish to speak at this time? There's a motion to close public participation by Deputy Sherman, seconded by Councilor Wellsman. All in favor, aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? By a vote of 5-0, public participation in this meeting is closed. We move on to item 2.
For residents, that transaction town is Village of Hampstead and Village versus Government Authority. Contemplate this process.
That's correct.
No jurisdictional for after this transaction.
The
And it's
resolution was,
it's physically in the.
it's in the village. The resolution was to transfer to the village, and the contract will be only between the town and the village. We'll move on now to item 2A, acceptance of the minutes of the meeting that was held, the regular meeting that was held June 18th. Motion, Councilman Westonville, second, Supervisor Charles. All in favor, aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried by vote 5-0. We'll go on to item 3. I see that our planning consultant, Ms. Hakes, got here a little bit earlier than anticipated. So if you and Mr. Daly and Mr. Litcheray, we can go into item 3A, B, C, and D.
Also, I'm ready to introduce our planner and
Yeah, good job. I'm going to ask either Mr. Gailey or Ms. Hakes to start off and just address the board and the public as to what we have before us and what the status is, and remind us of what's transpired since the last meeting that this issue was.
Here, I'll start off. Before tonight will be the culmination of a very long comprehensive planning and environmental review process concerning the Village Ramapo development plan. Thank you. Started roughly 3 years ago. The board's been through the planning and environmental review process, which has included a draft generic environmental impact statement and the introduction to zoning amendments pursuant to that comprehensive plan. Numerous public hearings, a final generic environmental impact statement, including a public hearing on that document as well, which is not required, obviously for regulations. And as a result of all of those, board consultants prepared a secret findings statement, which essentially summarizes the EIS and draws conclusions from the EIS documents. And that would be the first resolution for the board tonight. One other comment before we get to that. One of the other resolutions would adopt a zoning amendment concerning a commercial corridor on Route 202. And that commercial zoning district also includes a few lots that front on Campbell Road. The board very belatedly received comments from the village of Pomona with some concerns about that. And in response to that, the board can also consider tonight slight modifications to that commercial corridor zoning district. One of those would require the planning board on any project in that zoning district to require screening of residential-only properties. And the other one would impose supplementary conditions on certain of the permitted uses, warehouses, retail, and service establishments. They would be limited only to properties in that district that have direct access only to Route 202 and not to Campbell Road. And in addition, have a required lot frontage of 90 feet on Route 202. And that's to prohibit those three uses from operating on off of Campbell Road.
I have a question. If we adopt the amendment with that revision, what uses would be permissible under the new zone for those lots? Everything else, okay. So we're not restricting those lots to simply residential, we're just taking away the most intensive uses.
Right, that's correct. That's correct.
Collect lots and combine the
Two choices, right?
It's just found as rules concerned.
Off Campbell. I think it's, we're not ready to discuss, but I think it's a logical way to address that issue. Please continue.
Yeah, just one other point with respect to those modifications, those are not substantial changes to the law and do not require an official public hearing for the board to adopt those changes or adopt the law that I asked modified.
So we have four proposed actions tonight. The first is to adopt a secret finding statement. Second is to adopt the comprehensive plan amendment. And the third is to adopt the local law to establish the commercial corridor zone district. That was what we just discussed. And then the last would be to adopt a local law to adopt a flex overlay plan unit development FOPUD zone for that northeast map.
That's correct.
Great.
More separate votes.
Thank you, Mr. Bailey. First, let me ask the board members, any questions for Mr. Bailey at this time?
What's overlay?
That's correct.
Everything we do now is only in the northeast area. As we go into other areas of the town to update our comprehensive plan, we can consider what would be appropriate in those areas.
Supervisor, just Mr. Bailey, to clarify, all notices have gone out,
Oh.
everything.
Yes. Well, we don't have any hearings tonight.
Correct,
There are
but-
hearings today.
We don't,
In the
but yeah,
past.
when we had the public hearings in the past, yes, all the property notices were handled.
Very good. Thank you.
Ultimately, essentials the previous process, the selection is starting process that will be molded into a overall update.
That's our intention. Right.
Right now, we're updating that.
The original plan. Right, we're updating the 2004 plan, which is still in effect.
Sure, attention.
The new one, correct? I think that's all our intention, Mr. Haley, that would be the process, right?
Yes, that's correct.
No, it was a town-wide plan.
So you now separately.
Well, we made the decision 4 years ago. Right, so we're updating the 2004 plan by adopting.
1 year.
Right. Right.
There are say that's for other states, public around, and that would be covered down.
Right,
You take all the books.
that becomes the plan. Very good.
Are still,
I'll ask now Ms. Hakes if you could address the board also and the public as to any issues that you see or anything you'd like us to.
start off with this piece of paper.
Or early, she's early. She originally planned to be here at 7:30, and she got here at 7:10.
Mr. Bailey, to give her the microphone, so it is, got hold of close then.
Well, my apologies for being late. I was coming from another meeting. So as Mr. Daly had indicated, this has been a long process, but we're at a point now for the board to consider taking action on this, and this the culmination of the comprehensive plan amendment as well as the laws and the finding statement. We really look forward to the opportunity for the East Corridor to grow in a way that is that balances the current character of the community, the public that they wish to retain, as well as allowing for growth in key opportunity areas in the Northeast.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Hayes? I just want to clarify this might be a question more for Mr. Daly. I provided to the board the revised commercial corridor law, which has the screening requirement. We could discuss it as a board if we want to make that change. And I don't think we have anything in writing as to the restriction on uses, but you would give us language that we could put into that.
Yeah, I think I explained it clearly.
Whatever you think is the best way to.
Right, and I would add that as those are supplementary conditions to the written local law.
Very good. And if none of the board members have any questions for our professional staff, including Mr. Lynch, I will, we can address each item A, B, C, and D separately, or it's really pretty much packaged. Talk about it now. If we want to go through item A, which is the secret findings, and address that, that would be pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act. We would make findings as to the action about the take. Anything we should discuss at this point? I'm asking our staff.
I don't believe so. The board has had the draft finding statements for several weeks now, and this resolution adopts that finding statement.
Very good. Do we have any motion from a board member?
I'll make a motion, Supervisor Good will comment in relation to receipt. Extensively, some other content or facts. Although we have been as part of FAA's process, there you see as an opportunity here in our studies and our reviews. We did the characterization the 6 to 8 months, 1,500 square feet of the commercial area, and like that, that we did understand because this conversation is part of our overall update to the townwide plan, and that's also obviously making the point. But my point I'm trying to make is that understanding that although we studied this capacity, it's almost like as if it's to memorialize that we're not going to dip into the small areas of town or other areas of the zone. We have to understand that $697,000 study is banked for this area if the town were in the future to consider upping, redistricting this as a commercial zone.
So you just so I understand, you're stating that we have the studies, we've done the studies, that we have, that's what I said. So that in the future, if we do revisit that, we have the groundwork already done. That be, I'll turn to our planners and our lawyers, would that be an accurate statement?
That's accurate.
Very good, good.
I'd like to make a motion for the item A to adopt the secret findings.
There's a motion by Deputy Supervisor Charles.
Then there's supervisor to put my comments into the motion.
So would you amend the motion to include Councilman Weisman's comments that this includes a statement that we've done the studies, the analysis for what was called the Opportunity Area C, although that is not in this plan that is before us tonight. The groundwork has been studied. I don't think the groundwork, the data has been collected and studied for it. That is,
With one, I have a question on my own motion, because, and I would ask the question of my colleagues on the board, is in fact, and the professional staff on the council is, would that data still be the same at a later date, let's say 2, 3, 4 years? Would it still be the same data? And I don't think that decision was mine alone. I would ask, of course, council, council, what their opinion would be.
I would say I hope so. It's not, it's quite a bit of time.
I'm not gonna link you to.
Where you go?
Of course, somewhere. Yeah, 7 and I'm done. So I'm not really sure, because this is new to me, so I really
know exactly how to.
Well, let me go ask our professional staff, Mr. Lynch.
I believe that your deputy supervisor, your comments are correct, that the data in the future may differ. I think Councilman Weissman was saying, look, we have the data right now.
Okay.
Let's not reinvent the wheel when we look at things in the future. So may I say you're both correct?
That's a very orderly answer.
That's wonderful, that.
Well, that's
But
what
I think it's accurate, because by putting that in the resolution, it's not foreclosing on circumstances changing down the road that require additional studies, but at the same time, it's not saying that it wouldn't change, that it would change. So
Correct. I
we
think,
have to look at that down the road, no matter what.
yes, I understand the intention of Councilman Weissman. He wants to make sure that the good work that was done remains available, and that to the extent it has to be updated in the
That
future.
does make sense. Important piece.
That's, you gotta understand that.
I didn't
That's gotta clarify that.
I'm
We
sorry.
studied,
It's a sign.
traffic, sewer analysis, water,
Yes.
all the sewer analysis, X amount of square footage in different parts of the studies. And based on that, we recommend mitigation areas that fix that's abilities. I want this capacity reserved for this future of this area. I don't want to, have development coverage. Years, 4 years, and they'll say, by the way, I need X capacity for the project in this area. The original studies had excess capacity that wasn't being used.
So, if I may, so how would that have an adverse effect? What am I missing?
It was, this year.
Okay.
I think this would, you're saying that if a project came in that's not currently considered, hasn't been considered in the studies for the plan, they wouldn't necessarily be allowed to jump ahead to the resources. Understand that. So it wouldn't affect whatever's been studied, commercial corridor, or any pole plugs that have been considered. So, right.
We're addressing that.
Let me just throw that back to our staff, and make sure we're not missing anything on that question.
The way you just clarified it, it is fine, that's included.
Okay.
That gives us.
And that only would apply to the northeast corridor.
Right.
Exactly what happens in.
Obviously, study the northeast.
Right, no, I'm just clarifying that, yeah, or like
Unless it's going to run some additional plans across the.
very long pipes. Very good. So then I will ask again, would you amend your motion?
Yes, I will.
We have the language of the councilman made.
Yeah, as stated.
Okay,
That's the.
very good. And I just want to clarify too, this does not commit us to any particular course of action with regard to anything in the Northeast plan or the commercial, or the opportunity to see. Am I correct on that? Correct. Very good. Okay.
On that note.
Very good. So we have a motion by Deputy Supervisor Charles, second by Councilman Weissman. And any discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Councilman Whitehead?
Yes.
Councilman Whitehead? Councilman Rutherford?
Yes.
Deputy Supervisor Charles? Yes. Supervisor Smith?
Yes. Motion passes 5-0. We'll move on now to, Mr. Gilly, there was a, for each of these items, there was a general municipal law. Well, actually, no, not the findings, I'm sorry. For the comp plan amendment and the local laws, there were general municipal law review, reduced in the county that recommended modifications. If we override them, do we need to explicitly state we're overriding, or just a simple majority vote is sufficient?
The written resolution you have state that the board is overriding them, based on the memorandum that had been provided by Mr. Lynch.
Right.
And then in addition, the board will be sending a more detailed letter to county planning.
Thank you. So now we move on, let's move on to item B, which is the adoption of the comprehensive plan amendment for the Northeast Ramapo Development Comprehensive Plan update and analyze the existing conditions for Northeast Ramapo. Anybody wish to make a motion? Motion by Deputy Supervisor Charles Consider, seconded by Councilman Rossman. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Actually, you need a roll call, I'm sorry, took away your job.
Councilman Weisman?
Aye.
Councilman Leonard? Councilman Rosman? Deputy Vice Chair?
Yes.
Vice Chair?
Yes, thank you. Passes by a vote, a unanimous vote, 5-0. Now we're at item C, which is to adopt a local law, number to be added by the clerk after it's adopted, for the establishment of the commercial corridor zoning district, zoning map change to the commercial corridor zoning district in Northeast Ramapo. Let's first discuss if we wish to include the two revisions that we discussed earlier. The first is the screening requirement that the planning board require as condition of any approvals that properties that border residential properties put in sufficient screening. And then the second requirement would be the uses for any properties that do not have access to and front onto Route 202 with 90-foot wide frontage be restricted to, not be allowed, I'm sorry, to have warehouses, retail, and service providers. So those would be, that would be the amended resolution. Everybody in agreement that we should make those amendments? Let me ask, is there anybody disagree?
One question. Do we not already have the commercial corridor?
No, this is, it's a de facto commercial corridor, but this is, yeah, we have multiple, 6 different zones, I think. Hodgepodge.
Oh, hospital.
Residential, different commercial shopping, different zones. This would be unified. Yeah, that's kind of like the microcosm of zoning. So this would be consistent and more logical approach to, we really are, 202 is one of the 2 main commercial corridors in Ramapo. The other is Route 59 in Muncie by Main Street. And as we see more development in Northern Ramapo, more stores coming in, it makes sense to codify the commercial corridor, which is the purpose of this law. Exactly, increase ratables, which benefit everybody in terms of taxes. So what I'll do now is I'll call for a motion to include those 2 additional provisions. I heard Councilman Weisman first made the motion, second Deputy Supervisor Charles to approve with the conditions that we described. Any discussion? I think the revisions from today are a very elegant way to respond to the concerns raised by the village opponent in recent weeks and addresses those issues. And I would ask that we do a roll call vote.
Okay.
Councilman Leonard? Councilman Rosman?
Yes.
Deputy Vice Chair? Yes. Vice Chair?
Yes, thank you. Carries unanimously 5-0. And we'll go to the final item in Marcus' plan for tonight, which is to adopt a local law providing for the flex overlay planning development zone in Northeast Ramapo. Any questions from the board? If not, I'll call for a motion.
Clarification.
Sure.
On the district, on the development.
It's basically, I was going to say, it's basically, correct me if I don't, my answer's not. But it's an overlay zone that would require, be in effect at this point only in the Northeast corridor, and it requires somebody to have at least 20 acres of property held in common ownership as of March 2021. So people can't aggregate lots at this point, right? An existing large lot, and then that would allow the property owner to apply to us, the town board, with a concept plan that we would allow basically different, could be a mixed use, could be residential, could be commercial, could be whatever we believe is appropriate.
So it's in our book, exception there was.
Right, which Kansas residential zone, so it would not be permitted. And we would, summarizing, there's a number of guidelines and provisions to law for architectural considerations, landscaping, setback, screening, moving out many, but there were.
As part of the special.
Right, that would be part of what we as the board would have the direct say over.
somebody was going to collect multiple properties. Is there a body in the government that could, extend the date to?
I think only if we as the board legislated amended the law to allow that, otherwise, no.
We'd have to go through the.
Yeah, we have to amend that law to take that requirement out. Somebody can't come in and say, we want you to waive that just for
That's
us.
just, especially don't have to.
Right, right, we have to come back to us, and we have to amend the law for everybody.
To require a public
Public hearing,
hearing.
CUIs, change overview, and the whole process,
All the funds.
all the formal orders.
Okay.
Just one comment, maybe a comment about the poll, but I want to give credit to Councilman Weissman for being part of that committee by the year. I wish I could claim all the credit, but I think he deserves some.
Very true. So we have a motion by Deputy Supervisor Charles to approve. Do we have a second? Second, Councilman Rossman. I'll ask the clerk to conduct a roll call vote.
Councilman Marquardt?
Aye.
Councilman Rizzo? Councilman Rosner?
Yes.
Deputy Supervisor Charles? Yes. Supervisor?
Yes, carries unanimously by a vote of 5-0. Thank you, everybody. I want to thank Mr. Bailey, Ms. Hicks, Mr. Lynch for your efforts, not just tonight, but for the last 4 years on this project. So thank you all. It's good to see it through to fruition. And appreciate even today the last minute fixes and revisions and additions that I think made it even, I thought it was a very good plan, very good, and zoning amendments, even better. So thank you all.
Just for the record, I had a full head of hair when this started.
I'm sorry. Thank you. You're very welcome to stay the rest of our meeting. We understand if you don't.
If you don't mind, I leave.
No, of course. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all.
See everybody?
Thank you. We're gonna ask Dennis if you can stay because we're running an attorney. Great. Have a good night. Thanks again. Move on to item E, acceptance of an easement for 244 Iowa Road. Well,
If I may, Supervisor, this is a memo the board has from the town attorney Saval. It just deals with a easement in the middle of property with a drainage access and maintenance. Our planners have looked at it, our engineers, they looked at the board, separation with regard to the drainage.
very good.
I'm sorry, it's going to the planning board, but our engineers have approved it. Recommended.
It's been the planning board.
It's in this before the board.
Says that, so- No?
It's what, section 6, yeah. Natural.
Yeah, it's a site plan assigned by the engineer for the application.
It's rich.
Right, I don't know if it's been signed, but it doesn't look like it's been signed.
That's the plan.
I don't know. This is a-
Sure.
This is 244 Road.
This is the school.
Right.
School.
Could we approve it subject to the site plan approval from?
What's the plan for the, it's the one in the school. So, they were for the school,
Well, I don't think we're,
planning board has approved it, you know, either follow it, but I'm not gonna.
I understand your point, the way I see it, if you approve it, then it's too late. And if they haven't approved it, I don't think our accepting an easement forces the planning board to approve it, they're still gonna do the work that's appropriate. I mean, we could, I would suggest maybe a resolution to accept it, subject to planning board approval, and with the proviso that accepting the easement is not a blessing by the town board, that we should necessarily approve of the planning board.
So if you get to exactly that, it would be a condition of any acceptance by the town board that it pass planning board scrutiny. And if there's anything else you want to add as a condition, board member Weissman, I'm just going to.
When motion to provide the memorandum said that the roadway has to be built yet, so, by consultant, we make a condition of the plan for it's going to delay.
So is that a motion to
That is
approve
a
it?
motion.
Would you include in your motion with the
Yes.
statement that this does not, any approval, any acceptance, not approval, accepting an easement The acceptance of the easement is not a endorsement of the application.
Yeah.
So we have a motion by Deputy Supervisor Charles, seconded by Councilman Rossman. Discussion on the motion. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Opposed? Anyone abstaining? So it carries by a vote of 4-1. Move on to item F, another easement, this time for Montebello Crossing. We have a memo from Mr. Yeager. Oops, yes, about this.
This is the one I think is right across the street. Of the hospital.
The new,
The upper right. What? Let me get my,
this is a shopping center.
no, that's not it.
No. Oh, is this the one already?
Yeah, big map.
Oh, oh, we did. You're right. You're right. It's my bad.
I think something wasn't changing it. Maybe another. This is what, this is the one that, this is the one that's, oh, this is the one, across the street from the hospital.
Okay.
The one that, no, right after Indian Rock, on the right, on the left, on the right hand side. What? After.
And the other on the side.
This is the one that was approved, a while ago.
What use is for?
This is that health, this is that senior.
Oh, the senior housing, the adult living, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not yet,
No,
it's
before
separate, it's a
that.
new project, yes, it's in the village of Montebello,
Correct.
yeah, because it's our sewer.
This is that, standard,
Because we have to accept the,
this is, a sewer easement conveyance to Ramapo, Montebello Crossing. Needs a supervisor to sign for TP 584, so the deal can go to closing. It's a standard thing that,
Look with the highway. How we access.
let me ask, I see we have Deputy Director of DPW, Mr. Sadowski here, maybe if you're able to shed some light on this.
Yes, I mean, Councilman Weissman was right, because when I first looked at it, I said, hey, this sewer easement appears to be landlocked. And I know that Mr. Yeager's been in touch with the village of Montebello about making sure we can get that egress component also, and have the town be owner to that. So the sewer can then go to Henry Road, which is where the existing sewer line is.
We need an access to that too.
Well, the memo from Mr. Yeager says, please note there are 3 easements being dedicated. This will clear any issues related to places of owners proposed that the easement members not on. I would think we could approve this. If there's a need to come back for an additional easement, they can come back. If it turns out that they need further access.
they can't close without the template.
You have to review.
Yeah, I think Montebello thinks we're covered. I'm not sure if our legal counsel thinks we are at this point, but that individual sewer easement we definitely need for us to be able to eventually maintain the sewer through that complex. There are multiple lots there, which makes that require a main, which means we would need an easement to maintain that sewer main.
So it would be in our benefit to accept this today.
I mean, for Montebello, yes. I mean, yes.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Motion to get Mr. Supervisor Charles, second, Councilman Wilson, discussion. All in favor, aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Carried 4-1, so approved 4-1. We'll go on to item G, which is our third easement of the night, 4 Crown LLC. This is a G tree. Sewer easement. Motion by Councilman Weissman, seconded Mr. Supervisor Charles, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Carried 5-0. That's a good one. Very good. We're gonna move on now to item H, which is an extension of a license agreement with Uncle Mike's Ice Cream LLC. You'll note that the proposed extension is a 4-year agreement, which is what we've done in the past. I had asked that we leave the fee blank, so we can discuss that tonight. I'm also going to suggest, quite honestly, that we do it 1 year, and we revisit this next year. I don't think we need to tie us into a 4-year agreement. We can get it December.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I don't know. We have to find out the arrears that he owes us. We could find that out. Last year, the fee was $2,500. I would suggest we go 10%, maybe $2,750 per year.
And subject to his fees being paid.
Yes,
There
if
are.
his fees aren't paid, he doesn't get a license.
Correct.
He also would need to do,
And,
Well, you know,
yeah,
and he also needs to get, if he's gonna sell in the street, this allows him to go to our facilities. If he's gonna sell in the street, he has to get a peddler's permit.
Is that or was it an issue? Our town has a very diverse. For example, an ice cream kosher truck, the kosher ice cream truck, will get for somewhere down the facility. Why we need this facility to work that?
I don't know if we've had anybody else come in with a
No,
request.
it's-
I don't know, no, I think what you're saying is fair. I don't think I think we could do it without making it explicit.
yes, and I also think that the town has the right to revoke immediately if he plays, we want to amend it.
Yeah, we've had complaints about music being played in the parking lot outside of our pool. We've indicated that he did, his appearance at the parking lot can be announced over the loudspeaker, but at 15 minutes to not buy ice cream without disturbing the neighborhood. So I think we put in the agreement, in the resolution and in the agreement, that he is not to play the music or any loud noise to attract business at Saddle River Pool or upon entering or leaving Saddle River Pool parking lot going onto or from a public street. And then,
We also put it that we have an immediate right to revoke.
yes,
That's what
that
I
is,
said.
that's exactly it. Billy will will give us the right to revoke the license. Mhm.
Yeah, but what about the noise in the place?
That's really where the problem is. Spook Rock is more isolated, the parking lot by Spook Rock Pool is not your, Saddle River is the one that's the concern.
You also have to take off the Spring Valley Pool because we
That's not ours.
have it,
That's correct.
and I would remove the exclusivity, and he can take over this contract.
Does it say explicit? I don't see
It
it.
does say.
Oh, thank you. Exclusive. Yeah, 1 year,
1 year.
non-exclusive.
I'll make a motion. With the removal of item H, 1H. Really cool. Facility. You got 1 year contract, 26 years. That's. Subject to. Make sure this is up to date. Is last but not least, with the exception of limits played in the block, so.
Music or other loud noise.
Right, we don't want to make announcements over a loudspeaker or ringing a bell or something of that sort.
That was it, so for the vendor.
Are we aware of how much he owes?
No,
No, no,
nobody
no.
else. You don't
No,
know
no.
anything.
That would be on his business license as well.
Peddler's license.
He owes money.
That's my motion.
No, but that would include any more, any money goes on.
Oh, he wouldn't owe anything.
Because you pay for it, you get it.
Wait,
Yeah.
I'm assuming if his license is revoked, he loses his money, they.
That would be the condition.
Okay, that makes sense.
We don't know, we don't refund. Yeah, it's revocable cost. Yeah. We're violating the
If
agreement.
he owes money, we should pay it once, because if he doesn't pay it once, we'll be like, it's
We know that. We have to wait.
We'll tell them that pay upfront.
No, I should move on.
Yeah, so we have a motion by Councilman Westbrook. Let's have a second person to discuss it.
No question on the motion. I want to make a different motion because I think that because there's no familiarity with my colleagues with Uncle Mike's Ice Cream, who's been around selling ice cream in town for quite a long time,
Educate.
to the non-Orthodox community. I think yes, we should have a Orthodox ice cream truck as well. It should be known not to do ice cream. But he's been providing a service to us. He has enjoyed through the pandemic, where he had an exclusive contract because no one else was selling ice cream. And I'm sure he's going to abide by whatever conditions or rules that
I think it's the wonderful point to make. If
is
somebody-
given to him. But I think it's not a good thing to, take a small businessman who's selling ice cream to people in the summertime and just kind of cutting them off like a leg. So,
I don't see us cutting him off. He's has the right, as everybody else, get a permit open down the streets. We're giving him a right to come into our facilities. But he has to
So
spill
if
the money.
anyone else that wants to come, will have to come to this board. At that point, you may decide whether it's appropriate. That's whether or not we're cutting them off.
Right.
Right now, all we're doing is taking a vendor's veneer that's what we have on place, and we're trying to break it.
well, the complaints have been about music.
Yes.
About the music.
So I think if there's been other complaints about other businesses that are far more egregious than mine.
But they don't come to us for a license.
Yeah, but they go for.
And I can honestly tell you the music is annoying to me too, but this has been a tradition of an ice cream truck.
Right, but what I'm
Just
saying-
to let people know.
Yes, but we're not saying he can't play the music when he moves something on the street if he has the permit for it. The problem is he parks in the parking lot of the pool, which has a lot of residences nearby, and he plays it very loudly, the music for a half an hour.
It's fair to say, and he hasn't been very responsive to it.
I think that's been.
So then we need to let them know not to
We
play.
met with him.
I'm
That's my
just
motion.
chair,
Let me go.
I was the first one, as you know, that, worked with him. And I personally told him not to play the music. I said it multiple languages to him. And 2 days later, he did it again.
Okay.
So
We're not saying
I
not
wanna
to give him a
help him.
chance, but there is a reason why we have these concerns.
Well, this is not geared toward him, it's geared toward him providing the ice cream as a service to the different parks for the kids that are there.
no, it's only at Southwood Pool.
No, I know, I'm saying the other places that he's allowed to go throughout the town, he's providing ice cream to the residents. So that's my angle here, is that I'm going in that direction.
And it's very good ice cream.
I love ice cream, and he is a small businessman, so.
We don't know, we want to be fair, but I think this is a good compromise.
And I definitely will talk to him, if he's not.
Let's hope there's no need, let's hope he honors the understanding. We've offered to, say, I understand he needs to play the music to let people know he's there, that's what we offered.
We gave him
Pool.
alternatives.
We gave a number of alternatives, one of which is, as we started last year, having the pool staff announce, the ice cream truck is outside for the next 20 minutes, please feel free to.
We offered him to ride around with a bicycle ice cream truck in the pool area and sell it.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right, thank you.
very good, so we have a motion, do we have a second?
Thank you.
Second by Deputy Supervisor Charles, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Carried 5-0. We spent almost as much time on the ice cream man as we did on the Northeast plan. That's true.
Want me to do the next one?
Yes, this is, one that you would be best suited for.
So this is even longer than the Northeast plan in making.
Well, close.
Something that's exceptionally important.
We
We are. This is an
We
issue.
are.
We've got $900,000 for the purchase. And you agreed to, bonds for 1.35, it looks like there. And, what we're saying to you is that we're going to use those funds, 1.219, to purchase finally using NBI Technologies. And what? That, if I tell you that we have to thank a lot of people, I'll let the chief go ahead and have his day in the limelight and thank his command staff that worked with us on this.
Absolutely, Lieutenant Howell, Lieutenant Franklin, and of course, Chief of Staff Nolan Montel. put a lot of effort into this, and this is gonna really be beneficial to the town.
Unfortunately, we needed it last week.
Yeah.
It wasn't in place.
Well, that's kind of what the one that should show us, not part of the record. Okay.
Was that a list of the cameras?
Not part of the whole.
It's attached to it, I don't know.
There is a list, Ramapo has a list.
That's the kind of, that's the reality.
It's on the website. So let's pull it down. Pull it down.
Yeah.
Aaron, pull it down like that.
I don't have access. But it's a minute track.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have.
I'll be the clerk.
We have a motion.
Yeah, I just want to say, of the 1.3, not 50 is coming from the.
Yes,
Is this on top of that?
I believe it
Right.
is, because there's a lot of other stuff.
It's not 50 plus the 13.
Correct.
So you do the other one, just do it.
It's not the work, it's the maintenance. Yeah. We'll get a full report. What we're gonna do is, this has to do, we have to get the easement, we have the amount of work that went into this is for this portion. We'll come back for whatever needs to be, whatever needs to be.
What point do you do this, the council? Question, what point do you get this from? That's what we got.
That I can't answer. I believe we did get it. We have to apply, we have to give you, we have to spend it in
Yes.
order to get it.
I can tell you the DocuSign agreements related to this.
Right.
So, right.
And this was bid out.
No, this is on a contract from the state.
So I'm sorry, did we have a motion?
And this is the company also that Clarkstown uses,
Yes.
so, and Westchester and
There's a few others.
Orangetown, I think now, or they will be. And, this will allow everybody to share the data, otherwise they wouldn't be able to do that.
Very good. So let's have a motion to approve. Motion. Oh, I didn't know,
Yep.
Councilman made the motion?
Yep.
That's right. Motion, Councilman Weissman, that's right, seconded by, Deputy Supervisor Charles, discussion on the motion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstaining, carries 5-0, when clerk returns, will let her know.
I did.
Oh, thank you. I'll just add my appreciation to the police chief, chief of staff, and personnel in the police department that worked diligently to do this project.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. And I'm just gonna ask before you go on, I'd ask that you could please pull this item, the next one, J,
Okay,
from the agenda, for some other technical details.
then we will pull that one last item for tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. We move on to K, which is approval of agreement for the use of Wellwood Park by Camp Yukon. We allowed the camp to license the park from us for the last several years, I'm not sure how long. I also left this one with the blank, so I figured we would discuss it. Last year, we charged them $8,000. I think it'd be appropriate to raise them, but rate should reflect the fact that we haven't given them time to absorb that, prepare. So I would suggest if we go to approve this, that a fee of $9,000 would be appropriate and have a $1,000 security deposit to clean up as we did last year.
Going up to 6,000.
Go up 1,000.
Move. I just want to ask, I think I got, people, my son was this.
Oh, do you want to abstain?
If that's the rule, if I make it public.
I'll ask Mr. Lynch. Councilman's son goes to this camp, so it's probably best if he abstains.
If there's no financial interest, you're not required to, but if you feel you want to.
No, whatever you
One
want.
second, Councilman. Council.
If you feel more comfortable by recusing yourself,
What do
you
feel?
can. Well, the law is that if you have a financial interest, you must not vote. If you don't, it's simply up to you if you want to.
And if the
You can
camp
be
theoretically
very
said, we will charge you if this gets
No, no, no,
approved,
no,
that would be,
As long as you have no financial interest and believe you can be fair and impartial, you may vote.
Very good. So we have a motion by Councilman Weissman, second Councilman Renunu. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I
Abstained?
would like to change the motion. Shelley.
What do you mean?
Maybe because the camp is the children, suitability, what is, ability to raise them $9,000?
I think it's reasonable, in my opinion, there is, they do get a lot of use out of it. It is a clinic that does charge fees to the students, it's not a not-for-profit. I think, my feeling is reasonable, but I'll defer to the will of the board on this.
Last year.
We went from 7 to 8 last year, we've been 7 for several years, we went from 2,000. I think you're right. We need to consistent with this.
You should have. Yes.
Good. I think it's something we have to work on. We have a Parks Department proposal fee schedule for us to approve.
So why don't we do like this year and we'll figure out the next.
You know, we're coming from pandemic, we're at the doorway or intersection. Maybe we could just give them a little bit of a break and raise them, talk to them and tell them how to raise them next year.
Or let me ask the Council Vice Mayor, you made a motion, you want to amend your motion to have the fee be 8,000? What? Yes, so motion's amended, so we can vote on it now. All in favor? Aye. Oh, no, second. I thought Councilman Linder second. You seconded it as amended. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Carried 5-0. I thought you were going to tie it into the ice cream truck. Very good. Now we go to kids and ice cream camps and legal matters. So we have a proposal from West Group Law LLC to provide legal services on various matters in the town. Ms. Montel, do you want to discuss this with the board?
Certainly.
Any questions?
So there are a couple of items that the town is about to, in the midst of, talking about, or the particular legal advice of this particular company would be exceptionally helpful.
What's the session?
The contract between the town and the LDC, the town and the holders.
Which is now up for renewal.
Correct. Well, so, for a review, not
Review, right. We have the option.
Oh, is that right?
That's fine.
Discuss this at
Okay. Move along, we'll go to finance, item 4A, acceptance of the justice court audit. This is for the self-explanatory, or auditors did an audit, and they want us to accept the report.
What do you want to know?
Do we accept it as the town board, accept it for the justice court?
No, I think you have to do that. Yeah, they do, but I still think you have to acknowledge the report.
Yeah, there was an audit, I did see it. Yeah.
I'd like to see
Let me ask, is this time sensitive, or can we put it on in 2
You
weeks?
put it on in 2 weeks.
Let's do that, and give the board a chance to actually see it.
I think it was in the boxes, check.
Well, either way, it's not urgent that we do it today.
Not on my point.
We'll go for you.
What?
No, it's Benadio.
Yes, it became,
Yeah.
was, it
Yeah.
will be, or something, separate.
Ms. Montel, we're going to turn to you now for item 5, through F, personnel.
So this is our third-party administrator, PMA. As you see, they're holding the line on the pricing,
Let's do it.
asking you to accept that.
Questions?
And they've done an outstanding job.
Very good. Great, motion, Deputy Supervisor.
This is from us.
We have a second? Yeah. No, you made a motion, do we have a second? Second, Councilman Rossman, discussion, all in favor, aye? Opposed, abstaining, carried 5-0, then item E, acceptance of resignation of payroll.
Sadly, we're going to ask that you accept Anna Milovich's resignation. She did just start here, and she is going back to her prior place of employment. It is a loss. We did actually, the short time that she was here, she had a very positive impact. So we're asking you to accept her resignation.
Very good. We have a motion to accept, second reluctance by Deputy Supervisor Charles, second by Councilman Rossman. All in favor, aye. Opposed, abstaining, reluctantly accept by vote of 5-0. Go on to item C, appoint automotive mechanic one for the garage.
Thank you. We posted this position. What? Yeah, yep, multiple pages here. There's a whole host of
You know, people
people.
retired.
There are about
Yeah,
six.
just-
Unfortunately, one person passed
Passed
away.
away.
Can I ask a question?
We're in, yeah, this, yeah. What? Yes,
Why the number gentleman going down?
it depends on how long we've worked here.
Right, since they're already existing employees, so.
Correct.
Seniority, longevity. So this is to appoint John Smith to the position of auto mechanic one.
Correct.
John Smith, sounds like a pseudonym. Motion, Councilman Westman, second, Councilman Nudu. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Carried 5-0.
Next is the same situations, and we're asking you to appoint Anthony Brown.
Very good. Any questions? Motion, Deputy Supervisor Charles, second, Councilman Westman. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Carried 5-0. Congratulate Mr. Brown and Mr. Smith on their appointments and wish them continued success with the town of Ramapo. Item E, appoint a real property appraiser assistant.
Correct, and I believe both, the next two resolutions, both young gentlemen are here. I say young because I'm older than you. Done an outstanding job. You're appointing Harley Valencia McNally to the real property appraiser assistant from a promotional list as a probationary employee in this particular position, and the annual salary is listed in the resolution. This was discussed during our budget.
We should have done you guys earlier.
We should have. No, they were having a good time watching this meeting.
I got 5 other things you could have done instead.
I just want to add that the department head, Mr. Shepherd, the assessor, has wholeheartedly recommended these resolutions. And we know the outstanding work that has been done by both employees. So we will start with.
We did it.
First of all,
The second one doesn't have a salary. I don't know if that's a typo or.
I think we need a resolution first. I know the record on Harley. Oh, yeah, no, I'm just saying, that was, this question whether we did it, I don't know if we did it.
Oh, okay.
No. So we have a motion to appoint Harley Valencia McNally as real property appraiser assistant. And we have by Deputy Supervisor Charles, second by Councilman Rossman, all in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Any abstentions? Unanimously approved by
To be back here tomorrow morning.
And now we'll go to the next item, item F, which has been discussed. That is to appoint Nicholas Tizo to the position of permanent real property bill collector two.
No. No, before you do that, the fact of the matter is that, he's now eligible on your civil service list. He has to be reachable and take a test and all those other things. And he's appointed as a probationary permanent real property data collector too, and his salary remains the same.
My mistake, I read his current title provisionally.
Correct.
Thank you. Yes, this would be permanent, probationary permanent real property data collector.
Correct.
Very good. So do we have a motion? Motion by Councilman Rossman, second by Deputy Supervisor Charles. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? By unanimous vote, 5-0. Congratulations. Thank you both very much. Continue to keep up the fine work. Excited and happy that you're here tonight. We'll move on now. We'll move on now to item 6 on the agenda, purchasing. We'll stay with Ms. Martel as you handle the purchasing.
Thank you, Supervisor. So, as the supervisor is aware, we've had not an emergency repair, but an emergency repair to our fire alarm. And the alarm has tripped multiple times. Fire company has come multiple times. our individual in charge of our maintenance of our building, Lucy Ullman, supervisor of facilities and risk management, recommends that we accept the proposal as listed in the resolution, and we actually, what?
Look at the back page. Council. 165.
Yeah. It's 24,150.
That's a different
Different
proposal, right?
proposal.
We'll go with lower.
Oh.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, the first one's by radio one, the second one's by AC.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
So we have a motion by,
this was Hunter.
This is being done.
it's an emergency.
Yes, emergency.
We've had the fire department come multiple times, they're not happy. Yeah, yeah. So we have a motion to approve by Councilman Ross, second by Deputy Supervisor Charles, all in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Carried 5-0.
Supervisor, says what's one there. Present what this is. Is there a way to tell us what the question is? Is there a way to involve? Please send that this parent.
So- Except when it's an emergency like this, and Mr. Ullman proactively went out and tried to get, people don't want to work and do it quickly, unfortunately, you know? And you have to have certain, yeah, right. If it wasn't he recommending it, I would say that we could go back and formally do it, but because he, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you. We'll go to item B, which
Did you
is.
vote on that? Okay.
We did.
Okay. The next,
Renewal agreement with Honeywell.
correct. So every year this is in our, every couple of years we have to renew it. Honeywell is the company that is the only one that handles the maintenance of our heating and air conditioning because it is a Honeywell system. And we're just asking that you formally accept the proposal.
Questions? Not motion to approve.
It's every year. It's, you'll read it in the back there.
We have a motion.
Right.
Yes. Deputy Supervisor Charles makes a motion to approve. Ross moves seconds. The amount is.
I don't see it now.
It's, each thing is held separately. Walkman. Yep. And they do a couple of maintenance, things. You're just renewing the
It's the
existing,
existing
which
agreement.
is in your budget in that line. I don't know off the top of my head. I have to pull out the budget.
Oh, here. No, that's not.
There's no, that's insurance. They have.
No.
I'll point out the air conditioning in this room is not working.
Correct. Can we add-
Go over to the police department.
Yeah.
Yes.
Going to the police.
Yes.
Correct. So what can we get some help?
We're gonna move this meeting to the police department.
Yeah.
So we have a
At
motion
least theirs is working.
in a second. You
So
don't
you
want
could just
to,
say not to-
just stay
You can
cool.
say not to exceed the amount budgeted,
It's a number.
Okay.
yes, I thought, I didn't want to say it, but it was.
Very good.
First page.
I remember in the year 2001, there was an election. And there was some minor party person voting for supervisor, and he said he would save money by getting police cars without air conditioning.
Right.
That's how they used to be when I started.
Yeah.
You know, it's called horses.
I don't go back that far.
Yes,
Oh, we're not taxed on this, right?
no, it just
No.
says it's a standard agreement.
So we have a
This
motion.
is a 1-year term. $30,000 for 1 year.
Yes. And then we say thank you because 1 year we didn't have it
Oh.
and it cost us
Lord.
$150,000.
Okay, it's good to have that.
About 15 years ago.
Don't we keep that short?
So we have a motion.
Get us some more
Second. I'll call for a vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Carried 5-0. And now we will move on to general matters. Item 7A, authorization for Detective Olin to attend Major Cities Chiefs Association Intel Commanders Group. I'm going to ask our Chief Riley to address that.
Asking for approval to send them out there to Leeds and Vegas, but it's going to be intel commanders from throughout the United States and Canada, and it'll be a great opportunity for him in the role he's in with the JPPI.
Why is it one way?
Yeah, I think we all should go to this conference.
Exactly.
I gotta keep an eye.
It's a big
You
sacrifice.
probably should have supervision there, just saying.
We have a motion for Deputy Supervisor Charles, second by Councilman Weissman, all in favor, aye. Any opposed, any abstaining, carried 5-0. I noticed that the lines include hotel, airport, ground transportation, mail reimbursement. There's no other, casino,
This poor next guy, this guy goes to Vegas, it's not that Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago's?
Well, the Chicago one's not gonna cost any money.
No. So we'll go on to the next item, which is B, to send Sergeant Galvin to the Police Treatment Community Collaborative Conference in Chicago.
This is basically through a grant that the DA's office has. It's a diversionary program. Sergeant Galvin has embraced this program. He's taken a lead role in it. And they've actually requested that he be sent along with their staff
Great.
to this conference.
Very good. Call for a motion to approve. Motion, Councilman Lemieux, second, Councilman Grossman, all in favor. Aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining, carries 5-0. We'll go to the item C, which is to send Detective Sergeant Higgins to attend Overwatch Watch training. And that's in Saratoga.
Yeah, and that's actually retroactively. It's training in a software program to manage sex offenders. The program is actually used by several departments in the county. We get to use this program through the Sheriff's Department at no cost to us. However, the training, which was also free, just covered his expenses up there.
Got it. So we have a motion to approve by Deputy Supervisor Charles, seconded by Councilman Lemieux. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Abstentions carried 5-0. We'll go to D, authorization for Sergeant Anton to attend the supervisor leadership training. That's in Randolph, New Jersey. You drew the short straw.
And this is an FBI law enforcement executive development program for first-line supervisors. I'm requesting to be able to send Sergeant Anton to the program at a fee not to exceed $900.
Motion, Deputy Supervisor Charles, second, Councilman Rossman, all in favor, aye. Any opposed, any abstaining, carried 5-0. We'll go to item E, which is authorization to send our assessor to the New York State Assessors Association annual meeting and seminar in Lake George, New York. Motion, Deputy Supervisor Charles, seconded, Councilman Rossman, all in favor, aye. Opposed, abstaining, carried 5-0. And then we're now item F, we're being asked to send our fire inspector to attend the International Code Council Conference in Louisville, Kentucky. Motion, Deputy Supervisor Charles. Seconded by Councilman Rossman. All in favor, aye. Abstentions? Anyone opposed? Carried 5-0. I'll point out that this one, we're not actually being charged for it. Registration is free and the travel and lodging will be paid by this month. That's a good one. And then we'll go. No, that was the last one. Scott Hagan was, the fire inspector is item F is no charge.
This is the one that goes to every year. And
Yeah.
the expense of the ICC council.
Yeah.
They pay for it.
Good. Now we'll go on to item G, which is designate certifying officer for 2020 CDBG CARES Act program. Ms. Montcalm, I'm asking you to address this.
Well, I think I'm subject to it. Basically, we have to complete the meeting. We did this last year. This is the official notification of what we've applied for, and we're hoping to get it.
Questions?
I'm sorry, you did this already.
Yes, you're
Right.
certifying me as the officer to do it.
Any questions? If not, call for a motion to approve by Deputy Supervisor Charles, second by Councilor Ross, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? Carried 5-0. So we have the item from earlier about retaining a law firm, and we have item H, which is the collective bargaining agreement with PBA. I think the councilman requested
So
that
that
we
would
go
call it change what we originally said
on the PBA.
on the CBBG.
No.
This is the environmental review that somebody, I have to authorize to sign. No, the maximum.
Yeah, now, with the executive session, we're allowed to go into executive session to discuss pending litigation, which covers the law firm retention as part of the advises on pending or potential litigation. And then I believe we're also allowed to go into executive session to discuss personnel and contract matters, which cover the PDA agreement. So this time, we have a motion for Councilman Weissman to enter executive session. And I'll ask that the following people stay in the room. I'd ask that, obviously, the town board and the town clerk, the chief of staff, and our council, Mr. Lynch, stay, and everybody else, please exit the room during the executive session. Motion seconded. Second, Deputy Supervisor Charles. All in favor? Aye. We are now, anyone opposed, anyone abstaining, 0. We're now in executive session. Chief, don't feel like you have to wait for the room.
No problem.
Okay, we are back out of executive session. We have a motion and second, carried 5-0 to come out of executive session. Which time we discussed. No, we did.
The vote happened.
Yes.
We did. At which time we discussed contract negotiations, personnel matters, and pending and potential litigation. So let's address the first item, which is a proposal to retain the West Law Firm. Anybody wish to make a motion on this item? We have a motion, a second, we have some discussion to revise the motion to state that it's for the purpose of negotiating what's the language? Not renewal.
Negotiating to revisiting with the agreement between the town, the LDC,
And the boulders, the use of the stadium, and the cap of no more than $25,000. So would you incorporate that into your motion?
As stated.
We'll take a vote, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining. Carried by a vote of 5-0. And then you go to the final item, which is the collective bargaining agreement with the PDA. We discussed that, and I'll call, see if anybody has a motion. Councilman Flynn makes the motion to approve. We have a second. Second by Councilman Weissman. Discussion.
I don't know whether you have to ask council if she can vote.
Oh, I'm abstaining.
Oh, yes, yeah, you should, yes, correct, that's right. For a very, very good reason of which you should be proud.
Everybody thought that.
That's right, he's got a give back. So we have a motion.
It's a minimum of.
No, but as
Paul,
you discussed.
You're right.
before, when you
Good point.
is closed, deputy supervisor.
yes, exactly, and just,
Just
yes, the son, whom
Complete.
she and we were all very proud of, is a one of our plus minus.
That is correct. Full disclosure.
So we have a motion, thank you, we have a motion in a second, all in favor, aye, anyone opposed, anyone abstaining, carried 4-0 with 1 abstention. And I have no further items on the agenda, if any board members have any items, if not, we will take a motion to adjourn. Moved and seconded and voted on unanimously, we stand adjourned, thank you everyone, have a wonderful night. Thank you very much.